Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Welcome. We are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 4, entitled Hiranyakashipu Terrorizes the Universe. And I think we studied up to text 39 last time. So text 40 today. Nadati kvachit utkantho vilajjo nrityati kvachit tad bhavana yuktas tanmayo nu chakaraha. Srila Prabhupada's translation and purport. Translation. These are ecstatic symptom descriptions of Prahlad Maharaj. So translation. Sometimes upon seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Prahlad Maharaj would loudly call in full anxiety. He sometimes lost his shyness in jubilation and began dancing in ecstasy. And sometimes, being fully absorbed in thoughts of Krishna, he felt oneness and imitated the pastimes of the Lord. Purport. Prahlad Maharaj sometimes felt that the Lord was far away from him and therefore called him loudly. When he saw that the Lord was before him, he was fully jubilant. Sometimes, thinking himself one with the Supreme, he imitated the Lord's pastimes, and in separation from the Lord, he would sometimes show symptoms of madness. These feelings of a devotee would not be appreciated by impersonalists. One must go further and further into spiritual understanding. The first realization is impersonal Brahman, but one must go still further to realize Paramatma and eventually the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is worshipped by the transcendental feelings of a devotee in the relationship of Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. Here, the feelings of Prahlad Maharaj were in the mellow of Vatsalya, love and affection. As a child cries when left by his mother, when Prahlad felt that the Lord was away from him, he began to cry, Nadati. Again, a devotee like Prahlad sometimes sees that the Lord is coming from a long distance to pacify him, like a mother responding to a child, saying, My dear child, do not cry, I am coming. Then the devotee, without being ashamed due to his surroundings and circumstances, begins to dance, thinking, Here is my Lord is coming. Thus, the devotee, in full ecstasy, sometimes imitates the pastimes of the Lord, just as the cowherd boys used to imitate the behavior of the jungle animals. However, he does not actually become the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj achieved the spiritual ecstasies described herein by his advancement in spiritual understanding. So, the transcendental ecstatic symptoms of Prahlad Maharaj continue. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that one should make advancement on the path of bhakti. Prabhupada's exact words are, one must go further and further into spiritual understanding. पार पार गभीर शून्य भक्ति रस सिंधु तुमाय चकाइते तार कही ek bindu. Sri Rupa Goswami Pad, when he was sitting with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Dashashwamedha Ghat, Prayag, Rupa Goswami Pad was asking questions to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, while describing bhakti, he said, Bhakti is a path. Par, apar, gabhir, shunya, bhakti rasa sindhu. The ocean of devotion is such that there is no start point, there is no end point, there is no starting shore, there is no ending shore, and there is no bed, ocean bed. Par, apar, gabhir, shunya, bhakti rasa sindhu. Bhakti ras ka jo sindhu hai, ocean of the sweetness of devotion, it is such that we don't know when it started. We can say that this is the date I met a devotee, but we cannot say in which life it has started. At the same time, we cannot say this is the day I got liberated or this is the day when I became perfect. We cannot say that because bhakti process is such that doesn't have a start point, doesn't have an end point. And the depth in which we can go is unbelievable. You see, on the path of bhakti, since our senses are limited, the quantity that we can perform is limited, but the quality we can perform is unlimited. Unlimited. For example, we have 24 hours. So maybe we can hear for 1 or 2 or 3, 4 hours. We can read maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. We can chant maybe for another 2, 3 hours. But there's limitation. That's all we can do because we have other things to do. So the quantity in which we can engage in bhakti, that is limited. We can chant only for 2, 3 hours because we have to go to work, we have to clean up the kitchen, we have to go for shopping. There's so many work, so many things to do, right? So there's limitation on the quantity, but there's no limitation on the quality. How deeply you can chant, how attentively we can hear, how attentively we can read Bhagavatam. There is no limit to that. So there is no ocean bed. There's no limit. You can go swimming, 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 swimming as deep as possible. As deep as possible. When we hear the pastimes of Sri Ramachandra, and when Sri Hanumanji Maharaj hears the pastimes of Sri Ramachandra, it is the same Leela. Leela remains the same. But the depth in which that hearing of that Leela takes place is totally different, right? When Hanuman hears Sri Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. We are saying Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. It's here. But when Hanuman sings Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, he's tearing his chest open. It's a lot of difference. Lot of difference. So the quantity is limited, but the quality is unlimited. And this is what Srila Prabhupada says. One must go further and further into spiritual understanding. It's not that when we perform bhakti in the first year or the 10th year or the 50th year or the 100th year of our practice, we are going to do newer things. No, we are going to do the same thing, but with greater depth. On the first year, we are chanting maybe 2 rounds, 4 rounds, 6 rounds. Then after about 2 years, we are chanting 16 rounds. Then we continue to chant 16 rounds for a long time, but the quality must go deeper. Reading Srimad Bhagavatam must go deeper. Hearing must go deeper. When Srila Prabhupada speaks about Krishna, you see in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is speaking about transcendental ecstasy. And he's saying that when a devotee calls out, Krishna gives darshan. And Krishna says, my dear child, don't worry, I am coming. And the devotee feels so happy that my Lord is here. How does Srila Prabhupada know all this? As he's explaining Prahlad Maharaj's ecstasy, his ecstasy is coming out. And this is why Srila Prabhupada said these purports are an expression of my transcendental ecstasy. We are also hearing Prahlad. Srila Prabhupada is also explaining Prahlad, right? But the depth is different. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also heard Prahlad Maharaj, pastime from Gadadhar Pandit, 108 times. The 7th canto that we are reading since a long time now, at least a few months, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with Gadadhar Pandit at Tota Gopinath, they read this 108 times. So if the quantity is limited, 10 chapters of the 7th canto, but the quality is unlimited. How you can taste Prahlad Maharaj's mood, verse by verse, syllable after syllable, word by word, it depends on the pravesh, depends on the depth. So therefore, when we cook in our kitchen, if we have 10 ingredients and we cook in our kitchen, we will make the best of our own ability. If somebody knows how to make khichdi, you give them any ingredients, they will still make khichdi only because that's what they know. But these 10 ingredients, you give it to an expert chef. Now you're going to taste not your cooking, you will taste their expertise. This is the difference between we ourselves reading and we hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, jao Bhagavata pado Vaishnavero sthane, ekanta ashraya koro Chaitanya charane, Chaitanyero bhakta gana nitya koro sanga, tabite janibe siddhanta samudra taranga. Swarup Damodar Goswami in Chaitanya-caritamrita, he says, yes, you must study Bhagavatam, but the best thing to do is study Bhagavatam. Jao Bhagavata pado Vaishnavera sthane. Study at the lotus feet of a great Vaishnava. Then it is possible. Why? Because when we are reading, it's important to read ourselves too. But when we are reading, we are only reading according and grasping according to our understanding. These verses are like 10 different ingredients. And what are we tasting? The best of our understanding. That's like eating khichdi. But when we go to a great Vaishnav, those same verses you will see, they become so colorful. When a very advanced Vaishnav who has entered this realm is speaking, the verses become so colorful. We are reading Barhapidam Natavarapu Karnayo Karnikaram. We are reading Aho Bakiyam Stanakalakutam Jigamsaya Payadapya Sadhvi. But you see what happened to Pundarik Vidyanidhi when he heard Aho Bakiyam Stanakalakutam? He heard the pastime of Krishna's mercy on Putana. And he tore his cloth in ecstasy. Pundarik Vidyanidhi is an incarnation of Vrishabhanu Maharaj in Gaura Leela. And he was rolling on the ground and weeping for 6 hours, just hearing one verse. We are reading Aho Bakiyam Stanakalakutam Jigam Saya Payadapya Sadhvi Lebe Gatim Datri Muchitam Tatonyam Kam Va Dayalum Sharanam Brajema. What does this mean? Who is more merciful than Krishna, who gave Dhatrigati, the position of a mother, to that Putana who actually came to kill him? This is the essence. So Krishna is very merciful, take shelter of him. That's the essence. But when Sri Pundarik Vidyanidhi heard it, he was crying, "Ah, Krishna, ha Krishna, ha Krishna." He was frothing through the mouth and tears were dripping from his eyes and he was rolling on the ground, tearing his silken cloth. And this Leela took on for 6 hours. And Gadadhar Pandit, who is the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam, from whom Chaitanya Mahaprabhu relishes Bhagavatam, he was thinking, my God, what level of ecstasy. So this is the depth. Bhakti is very, very deep, unbelievably deep. That one name, Krishna, which we are chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, and mind is going somewhere else. But no jani janita kiyaptiramritai krishneti varnadvai. Rup Goswami Pad says, I don't know how much nectar is there in these 2 syllables, Krishna, that I want hundreds and thousands of years, millions and millions of tongues and billions of ears to vibrate the name Krishna, to hear the name Krishna. And when that vibration enters my heart, dances in the courtyard of my heart, my senses go inert and I fall unconscious. I don't know how much nectar is there in these 2 syllables. Depth, pravesh, bhakti ke path pe pravesh, very deep. Bhakti is not simply, okay, I sit in front of the deity and I chant one round or I read little Bhagavatam. Yes, that is the beginning that we are all at. All of us are at that. We are reading, hearing, chanting. But bhakti is very deep, very, very deep. That same Leela will become so addictive. The person will feel like hearing that Leela again and again and again. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard pastimes like that again and again. When Maharaj Prataparudra was singing, Jayati te dhikam janmana braja shrayata indira shashvadatrahi daita drishyatam dikshutavakas tvaidritasavas twam vichinvate, massaging the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Maharaj Prataparudra, he was singing the Gopi Geet. And suddenly Mahaprabhu, who was resting, he woke up. And Maharaj Prataparudra stopped singing because Maharaj Prataparudra was the king. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never gave him darshan. So Maharaj Prataparudra had to come in disguise. He came with a white cloth like a sadhu. And he was massaging Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. And Mahaprabhu opened his eyes and Maharaj Prataparudra got scared. Because Maharaj Prataparudra was never given darshan by Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu would say, Vishayi, Vishayi. He's a king. I am a sannyasi. Why I need to meet a king? No, sannyasi has nothing to do with a rich person. I will not meet him. But now Maharaj Prataparudra is taking a humble position and coming to have darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu, when he woke up from his ecstasy, so Maharaj Prataparudra felt, oh, I disturbed Mahaprabhu. So he kept quiet. And Mahaprabhu said, Shunite, Shunite, Prabhu Santosha Apar. Bolo, Bolo, Bale, Prabhu, Bale, Bar, Bar. Oh, ho, ho, I'm having so much nectar in my ears. Continue, continue, continue. Don't stop. Tava Kathamrita Shloka Raja Je Podila. Uthi Prema Veshe Prabhu Alingana Koila. Mahaprabhu woke up and forcibly embraced Maharaj Prataparudra to his chest. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Prabhu kohe ke tumi koila mora hit. Achambite ashi pyaibo Krishna Lila Amrit. Are kaun ho tum? Who are you? By force you are making me drink Krishna Lila. Mahaprabhu doesn't know Krishna Lila. Mahaprabhu doesn't know Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam. He is Radharani who sang the Gopi Geet. But the taste in Krishna Lila is so much. It doesn't matter whether I know or I don't know. The person loves the Ishtadev so much, loves Radha Krishna so much, that anybody speaking about them, the person's ears open up in full rapt attention. And Mahaprabhu embraces. He says, who are you? Don't stop. Don't stop. Continue, continue, continue. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavi bhiriditam kalmashapaham. It came to the pinnacle. The Gopi Geet, in the middle part of the Gopi Geet, Maharaj Prataparudra started singing, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced, and he was bathing Maharaj Prataparudra with his tears. And he said, you are so kind to me. Bhurida, Bhurida, Bhurida. You are so kind. You are coming and blessing me with love. Bhurida means, Da means dadati, to give, and Bhuri means a lot. You are coming and giving me Krishna profusely. You are so magnanimous. You are so kind. Who are you? What can I give you? Sannyasi manusha ami nahi kono dhan. Mahaprabhu is saying, I am a sannyasi. Oh dear person, I don't have any wealth to give you. Therefore, dilu tumi amulya alingan. I am giving you this invaluable embrace, which is the only treasure I have in my life. I can only accept you. Sannyasi manush mor nahi kono dhan. I am a beggar. I am a sannyasi. What can I do to reciprocate? Who are you? Raja kahe ami tomar daser anudas. Bhrityero bhritya koro ei mora as. Oh, dear Lord, I am the servant of your servants. You please accept me like that. This will be my greatest pleasure. So the point is, whether it is Pundarik Vidyanidhi, whether it is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whether it is Parikshit Maharaj, who's sitting on the banks of the Ganga and hearing pastimes which he already knows. Parikshit Maharaj knows all these pastimes. Whether Krishna killed Putana, well, he knows Krishna was the chariot driver for Arjun, and Parikshit Maharaj is the descendant of the Pandavas. So he knows Krishna survived through Agasur, Bakasur, Dhenukasur, Arishtasur. He knows all this. So even when Agasur is coming in, Parikshit Maharaj could have been relaxed. Nothing is going to happen to Krishna because I know he was alive throughout. But he was sitting and hearing with so much aturta, vyakulta. Why? Because depth in bhajan. Bhakti is so deep to the extent one is devotionally attached to Krishna, tasting the name, chanting Krishna's name becomes more sweeter. Hearing about Krishna becomes very sweet. Remembering Krishna becomes very sweet. Very sweet. Parikshit Maharaj at one point is trembling. I am scared what will happen to Krishna. I am scared what will happen to Krishna. Just now Krishna is born and you're saying a serial baby killer, Putana is going there. What will happen to him? Shukdev Goswami takes a break from the Hari Katha and he says, Na yatra shravanadini rakshognani swakarmasu kurvanti satvatam bhartu yatu dhanyascha tatrahi. Hey Maharaj Parikshit, that place where hearing and chanting goes on about Krishna, no inauspiciousness can touch. How can there be any inauspiciousness in Vrindavan where Sakshat Parameshwar Sri Krishna is present in full potency? So don't worry, nothing will happen to Krishna. Maharaj Parikshit has relaxed. Then Sakhechari Ekadotpatya Putanananda Gokulam Yoshitva Mai Atmanam Pravishat Kamacharini. The Leela begins. So whether it is Parikshit Maharaj, whether it is Pundarik Vidyanidhi, whether it is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or whether it is Prahlad Maharaj here, remembering Krishna brings in horripilation in the body. Not in the neophyte state, not in our state, because bhakti is not so cheap. Bhakti is Kleshagni, Shubhada, Moksha Lagutakrit, Sudurlabha, Sandrananda Visheshatma, Sri Krishna Krishni Chasa. One quality of bhakti is Sudurlabha. Everybody chants Hare Krishna on the beads, on the tongue. Very few can hear attentively, and very few have mind attached to the chanting. Very few chant with genuine affection. And out of millions of such people, one is a pure Vaishnava who feels this ecstasy that Prahlad Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Pundarik Vidyanidhi we are talking about. So bhakti is very deep. Srila Prabhupada says one must go deeper and deeper. And here we see Prahlad Maharaj, Nadati, Kochit Utkanto. Sometimes he loudly calls out, Ha Krishna, Ha Govind, O Govind, O Krishna. Here the name is not described. But Prabhupada in the word for word, he paraphrases by saying, O Krishna. Prahlad Maharaj is addressing the Lord, O Krishna. So that O Krishna is not there in the verse. But Srila Prabhupada is doing authentically because you see in the previous verses, it said, Krishna Graha Grihitatma, it said Govinda Parirambhitaha, that he was embraced by Govinda. And Bhagavatam says, Matin na Krishne Parato Svatova. Prahlad Maharaj was saying Krishna Nam there. Right? So the name of Krishna is there in Prahlad Charitra. So, Nadati Kvachit Utkanto. With great eagerness, Prahlad would call out to Krishna. This is another thing. One should chant. When we sit to chant japa, we should chant audibly, not in the mind. Sometimes that question also I get in the emails. Can I chant in the mind? No. When we are chanting, we should audibly chant. Srila Prabhupada gave two instructions regarding japa. Prabhupada said, sit properly and chant and hear. Sit properly and chant and hear. So if we sit with a straight back and we chant Hare Krishna audibly, distinctly, pronounce properly. Sometimes the Krishna Krishna becomes a hissing sound. Not like this. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So to audibly chant, which means to clearly chant, to hear and chant, and to lovingly chant. So I remember one devotee while preaching was saying, many years ago I heard this, that while chanting japa, three P's have to come in sync. One is proper posture, where you sit properly, proper pronunciation, where you chant properly, and a prayerful mood, where you feel the chanting. So you sit properly, you pronounce properly, posture, pronunciation, and prayerful attitude. Three things are important. So nadati kvachit utkanto, chanting with all our heart. And vilajjo nrityati kvachit. And when he would see Krishna appear before him, he would dance with so much joy. Actually, Krishna has also said, Nrityati mama sannidhav. Those devotees who call out to me and dance in my presence in the form of the vigraha, when we go to the temples or at home, if you have a deity or a picture, if you sing and just move very gracefully. Krishna says, Nrityati mama sannidhav. If somebody dances in my presence, such a person can sell me because I become their commodity. I become their commodity. So singing and dancing for Krishna are very important. Nacho gao bhakta sange karo sankirtan achirata pabe tumi Krishnera charan. That if we sing and dance for Krishna, then we attract his attention. Dancing also has to be done gracefully. Singing also has to be done gracefully with affection for Krishna. In Srinivas Acharya's Shad Goswami Ashtakam, it is said that Krishna utkirtana gananartana paro premamritam bhavanidhi. So Krishna utkirtan. Utkirtan means two things. One, loud chanting from the throat and loud chanting from the heart. Utkirtan. Ut mane upar. Ut means towards the upper heights. So kirtan must be done audibly from the throat and affectionately with the heart going upward, which means praying to Krishna. Sripad Aindra Prabhu would sometimes say, in the middle of the kirtan, if people around him are not chanting audibly, so Sripad Aindra Prabhu would say, don't just sit there looking pretty. don't just sit there looking pretty. Chant from your heart and be happy. He would say, chant with all your heart and be happy. Don't just sit there looking pretty. Because sometimes you see in kirtan, we are spaced out. We're looking at our watch, we're on the phone, and we're chanting, but the syllables are hardly coming out of the mouth. So he would say, give it all you got, which means chant with all your heart. So here it is said, vilajja. without having any feeling what are others thinking about me. Nrityati, to dance. And kvachit tad bhavana yuktas tanmaya anuchakara. Ha. Prahlad Maharaj in transcendental oneness, remembering Krishna, remembering Krishna so deeply. Sometimes Prahlad Maharaj would consider himself to be Krishna. This is very advanced level. At the level of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the gopis of Vrindavan, Prahlad Maharaj. We should always be aware that we are not Krishna and we cannot become Krishna and we don't want to become Krishna. That's not our aim also. Text 41. Kvachit utpulakas tushnim aste samsparsha nirvritaha aspanda pranayananda salila milite kshanaha. Translation. Sometimes feeling the touch of the Lord's lotus hands, he became spiritually jubilant and remained silent, his hair standing on end and tears gliding down from his half-closed eyes because of his love for the Lord. Purport. When a devotee feels separation from the Lord, he becomes eager to see where the Lord is. And sometimes when he feels pangs of separation, tears flow incessantly from his half-closed eyes. As stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Shikshashtaka, Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha pravrishaitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahename. The words Chakshusha Pravrishayitam refer to tears falling incessantly from the devotee's eyes. These symptoms, which appear in pure devotional ecstasy, were visible in the body of Prahlad Maharaj. We cannot fake this, and we should not fake this. Sometimes in the temple, trying to shed tears so that others are seeing, this is not right. If naturally some tears may sometimes come, that's fine, no problem. But we should still understand we are not very advanced. We are not at all advanced. Tears are dripping all the time for us. When somebody says something wrong about us, we are crying. Right? When we don't feel okay in the body and there's some pain, headache, or sometimes you see even kids, they have stomach pain, they start to cry. So crying is a glorious thing if it is for Krishna. But just because some tears are coming for Krishna doesn't mean we are very advanced, because we are having material emotions as well. But for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it wasn't like that. Prahlad Maharaj, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it wasn't like that. They were completely absorbed in Krishna. Completely. Tanmaya is the word used in the previous verse. Tanmaya means to be completely absorbed. It is described Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he would dance in front of Jagannath. What a scene. What a scene. When he would dance in front of Jagannath, different symptoms of ecstasy would haunt his body all at the same time. He would weep profuse tears. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would cry so much for Krishna, so much tears. And at the same time, his hair would stand on end. His body would be just like if there's a tree which is full of sprouts, full of flowers and leaves. Mahaprabhu's transcendental body with hair standing on end were like flowers blossomed throughout in the body of a tree. So his hair was standing on end and tears were dripping from his eyes, and Mahaprabhu's body had rivers of sweat, completely drenched in singing and dancing for Krishna. And not just that, Mahaprabhu's throat was completely choked. Gadgada Vacha, which means he couldn't even say Govinda. Mahaprabhu would maximum say go, go, and words would not come out of his mouth out of love for Krishna. Another symptom that Mahaprabhu would have, apart from perspiration, apart from tears, apart from hair standing on end and voice choking, Mahaprabhu's body would tremble in ecstasy. Body would tremble in ecstasy. Whole body would, in exhilaration and extreme jubilation, his body would horripilate. Not just, so that's 5. 6th symptom that Mahaprabhu would have is his whole bodily complexion would change. This is called Vaivarnyam. Vaivarnyam. Vaivarnyam means when the skin color changes. Mahaprabhu had Pulaka, Ashru, Kampa, Sweda. Pulaka means hair standing on end. Ashru, tears. Pulaka, Ashru, Kampa, trembling. Sweda, perspiration. Apart from that, Gadgadavani, voice, throat choking. 6th, Vaivarnyam, his complexion completely going dark. He would remember Krishna and call out, Ha Krishna, Ha Krishna, Ha Krishna, Amar Govinda. And his body will become completely dark. Completely dark. The seventh symptom that Mahaprabhu would have, Stamba Avastha. Stamba means stunned. He would stop to blink his eyes, and he would not be able to walk. He would not be able to even hold something with his hand because his hands used to be stiff. His feet would become stiff. This is called stamba, stambita avastha. So pulaka, ashru, kampa, sweda, gadgadvani, vaivaranyam, and then stamba, and eighth is murcha, fainting, fainting. This is called jivana sandhi. Mahaprabhu used to be on the doorstep of life and death. Very little slow breathing in separation from Krishna. So the symptoms in the body of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, are actually the signs and symptoms in the body of Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani. So when there is sound, then there is echo. Then when there is actual face, then there is reflection. So Gaura Lila is the reflection. Gaura Lila is the echo. So the actual face, the actual sound is in Krishna Lila. So Radharani is facing so much ecstasy. No other devotee has all 8 ecstasies at the same time. Somebody may have tears dripping. Somebody may have few drops of tears dripping for some time. But Mahaprabhu had rivers of tears all the time. And not just that, some may have hair standing on end for few minutes, but Mahaprabhu's hair would stand for hours. And all 8 symptoms that we discussed would all attack his body at the same time. It was not just this. So many emotions would come into the body of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Sometimes there was anger. This is called pranayakop. Why did you leave Vrindavan and why did you go to Mathura? Why did you do this? And sometimes there used to be harsha. So these are all different vyabhichari bhavs, different moving sanchari bhavs actually. These are all sanchari bhavs. These are all moving emotions. There are 33 such sanchari bhavs, moving emotions. Imagine having different mighty elephants all enter a sugarcane plant, a sugarcane forest. What happens? They will all with their trunk uproot these different sugarcane rods. So Mahaprabhu's body was like a sugarcane forest. And these emotions were mighty elephants attacking all at the same time. Sometimes while Mahaprabhu was dancing, he would spin in ecstasy. And his body was like a cartwheel on fire. Wow. Unbelievable description. Unbelievable. Chaitanya-caritamrita nitya karo paan, jaha hoite premananda bhakti tattva gyan. Shruyatam shruyatam nityam giyatam muda chintatam bhaktas Chaitanya-caritamritam. Chaitanya Lila Ratnasar, Swarupero Bhandar, Teho Thoila Raguna Tero Kanthe, Taha Kichu Jeshunilo, Taha Iha Bistarilo, Bhakta Ganadila Ei Bhete. My mouth is like the beak of a sparrow. And Chaitanya Charita Amrit or Krishna Lila, Gaur Lila is like the massive sky. Massive sky. What can this sparrow with little small beak and little small wings do? Even if this little sparrow flaps 10,000 times, has only moved 10 steps in the sky. So it is described that Chaitanya-caritamrita is the greatest nectar. Chaitanya Leela Amritapur, Krishna Leela Sukarpur, Doi Mili Hoye Su Madhurya, Sadhu Guru Prasade, Taha Jai Aswade, Sei Jane Madhurya Prachurya. That Krishna Leela is sweet, very sweet. But when you have a sequel, a part 2 to it, then it is even more sweeter because the cycle is complete. In Krishna Leela, Krishna is leaving Brajbasis and going to Mathura and Dwaraka. And the Brajbasis are crying and Krishna is also crying. Krishna knows how he feels when he cries, but he doesn't know how the Brajbasis are feeling when they cry. So now in the sequel, he switches over and Krishna becomes Radharani and continues to feel the separation from Krishna. And that Krishna who is feeling separation is Jagannath. He's Jagannath. So in Krishna Lila, Radharani is feeling separation from Krishna. And in Gaura Lila, Krishna becomes Radha as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Krishna continues to be himself as Jagannath. And this Krishna in the mood of Radha is feeling ecstasy for that Krishna Jagannath. So in Gaura Lila, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jagannath meet face to face, there are descriptions where Mahaprabhu would bite his lips. He would bite his lips. Why? Dantai drishtva, muda dantai drishtva, it is described. The dashta means to bite, and dant with the teeth, madhura madharam, the soft, sweet bimba-like lips of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, muda, joyfully he would bite in the mood of Radharani. Why? Because when Radharani met Krishna at Kurukshetra after 100 years of separation, Radharani was biting her lips. Oh, you ran away from us, Brajbasis. Now see, we have come face to face, and now we will not leave you. Ab aa gaye aap. So in the mood of pranay kop, in anger, at the same time, oh, you left us and you went to Mathura and Dwaraka. See now how we Brajbasis have caught you. In that same mood, that Radharani did. She bit her lips in Kurukshetra. But now that Kurukshetra manifested as Jagannath Puri. Sri Krishna as Dwarkadish manifested as Jagannath. And Radharani's mood has manifested as Sriman Mahaprabhu. And Sriman Mahaprabhu is having darshan of Jagannath at Jagannath Puri and biting his lips in the mood as Radharani has conquered Krishna at Kurukshetra. Sriman Mahaprabhu ki jai. So these ecstasies are very deep. And if not for Chaitanya-caritamrita, there is no other book which explains it. No other book. Before Chaitanya-caritamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat was written by Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur. Chaitanya Bhagavat was written at least 50 years before. But there is description of, there is Purvardha, first half of Gaur Leela. Mahaprabhu as a Grihastha, that description is there. But after he takes sannyas and he moves to Jagannath Puri and he feels ecstatic love for Krishna, that is there only in Chaitanya-caritamrita. So here, it is described in Chaitanya-caritamrita that Mahaprabhu, with all these ecstatic symptoms, sometimes he would have kheda. Kheda means extreme sadness, lamentation. And sometimes harsha, extreme jubilation. And sometimes he would have asuya. Asuya means jealousy. We think there is no jealousy in the spiritual world. No, there is some jealousy, transcendental jealousy. There is, in this world, there is jealousy, envy, anger, pride, all perverted reflection with selfishness, with ego. And in the spiritual world, all these emotions are there. There is envy, there is pride, there is anger, there is competitiveness. All of this is there, but with the spirit to serve Radha and Krishna. With the spirit to serve Radha and Krishna. So Mahaprabhu sometimes would have asuya. Asuya means envy or jealousy. In the sense, these queens of Dwaraka are so fortunate. They have got Krishna. They have gotten my Krishna. So in the mood of Radharani, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go through all these ecstasies. So all the emotions in his heart, with all the ecstatic symptoms on his body. Now, what is more beautiful? Is his form more beautiful? Very beautiful form. Harir drishtva goshte mukhurgatmatman matulam swamadhuryam radha priyatara sakhi vaptum abhitah aho gaude jatah prabhurapara gauraika tanubhag shachi sunu kimme nayana sharanim yasyati punah. Das Goswami Pad has said that when Krishna looks at himself in a mirror, he is wondering, who is this person? Aparikalita purva kaschamatkara. Who is this person? Sometimes, because no mirrors at that time, we are saying mirror, but when Krishna, in Krishna Leela, he would accidentally see himself at a reflecting pillar, or he would see himself in a reflecting floor. And when he would see, he would be shocked. Who is this person? Hari drishtva goshte mukhur gatam atmanam atulam. Seeing his own incomparable form, Krishna would think, who is this person? How handsome, how wonderful, how beautiful. And then when he realized it's him, he would become very embarrassed. Lajja. And then he would think, oh, I myself am getting attracted to this form. I don't know how much the Brajbasis will be attracted to this form. I wish I could become a Brajbasi. I wish I could become a Brajagopi. I wish I could become Srimati Radharani and look at this form and this desire. Aho Gaude Jataha, that seed fructified in Gaurmandal, in Navadvip, in Mayapur. Aho Gaude Jataha, Prabhur Apara Gauraika Tanubhag. The dark complexioned threefold bending Sham Sundar became the straight standing magnanimous golden complexion Gaur Sundar Bhagavan ki Jai Ho. So, what is more beautiful? His external form is more beautiful, or his singing and dancing is more beautiful? Mahaprabhu would be like a cartwheel on fire, golden volcanic mountain erupting. Sometimes he would jump. Sometimes he would fall like a bag of bones. Sometimes he would roll on the ground. Sometimes he's weeping. Sometimes he's crying. Sometimes he's laughing. So, is this more beautiful? Is his beauty more beautiful? Or is his dancing and singing more beautiful? Or is his ecstatic symptoms of hair standing on end and voice choking and tears dripping and sweating and Vaivarnya complexion changing and stunned horripilation and mrit avastha, fainting? Are these more beautiful? What is more beautiful? Or is his magnanimity, his mercy, where he is embracing the seven tal trees and liberating all of them back home, back to Godhead? Oh, Srimad Mahaprabhu. Ekas Chaitanya, Chandra, Parama Karunaya, Sarvamavischakaraha. No avatar like Gaur Mahaprabhu. No avatar. So somebody might think, hey, you are discussing Prahlad Charitra or you're discussing Chaitanya-caritamrita. Are you discussing 7th canto or are you discussing Chaitanya Leela? Prahlad Maharaj's pastime, this is the branch, and Gaur Leela is the moon. So when you see the branch, when you see the branch of the tree, between the branch you see the moon. So when you're talking about Prahlad's ecstatic symptoms, naturally they are leading one to the ecstatic symptoms of Sriman Mahaprabhu. Prahlad calling out to Krishna, that is this the little push given by Bhagavatam. That is a little impetus given. When you want somebody to sing, and the person is a good singer but is very shy. So you keep saying, oh, please sing. Oh, come on, don't worry, please sing. Don't be shy. You say all that. Why? So that the actual singing can start. So the glory of all the devotees has been given ultimately so that the love of the Brajbasis can be sung. That is the highest epitome. So Sriman Mahaprabhu is the greatest devotee, no doubt about it. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ai Deena Dayardhra Nath Hai, Mathura Nath Kadavalokya Se, Hridayam Twadaloka Kataram, Daita Brahmyati Kim Karomyaham. Ha Krishna, Ha Mathuranath, where are you? How can I live without you? Radharani would weep like this. And Krishna, who is Brajanath, who is Gopinath, who is Radhanath, now he's addressed as Mathuranath on purpose. You left Vrindavan and you went to Mathura, hey Sham Sundar. Now you have become Mathuranath. So that is paining in Krishna's heart. He's saying, no, 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 I'm not Mathuranath. Don't call me Mathuranath. I am not Mathuranath. Oh, yes, you are Dwarkanath. You are Dwarkadish. No, 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 I am not Dwarkadish. I am Nanda Gopakumar. Aradhyo Bhagavan Vraja Isha Tanayas. I am Nanda Nandan. I am the son of Nanda Maharaj. I am Yashoda Nandan. I am Subal Sakha. I am Radharaman. This is who I am. So the calling of Radharani to Krishna, now Krishna is coming as Mahaprabhu and calling out to himself as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So these ecstatic symptoms that we see, text 41, sometimes feeling the touch of the Lord's lotus hands, he became supremely jubilant and remained silent. Mahaprabhu would feel all of these ecstasies that Prahlad Maharaj is feeling. Actually, Prahlad Maharaj is feeling a portion of Sriman Mahaprabhu's ecstasy. Mahaprabhu is the actual ocean. And all other Vaishnavas, whoever, whatever they are feeling, is simply dropped from Sriman Mahaprabhu's heart. Mahaprabhu, with his beauty, with his ecstasy, with his singing, with his dancing, felt so much reciprocation with Krishna. And he is the ocean of love, this Amrita Nidhi. And Prahlad Maharaj is tasting one drop from there of Radharani's love. However, The humility of Mahaprabhu is he would sit and read these sections and feel, I wish I had the love of Prahlad. I wish I had the love of Prahlad Maharaj. Here you can see Prahlad Maharaj felt the touch of the Lord's lotus hands, became supremely spiritually jubilant, and remained silent, his hair standing on end, tears gliding down from his half closed eyes because of his love for the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj was completely drenched inside out, completely drenched in love for Krishna. And then text 42 describes, because of his association with perfect unalloyed devotees who had nothing to do with anything material, Prahlad Maharaj constantly engaged in the service of the Lord's lotus feet. By seeing his bodily features when he was in perfect ecstasy, persons very poor in spiritual understanding became purified. In other words, Prahlad Maharaj bestowed upon them transcendental bliss. All of this Prahlad Maharaj was tasting in his life because of his association with Narad Muni. Bhaktistu Bhagavad Bhakta Sangena Parijayate. When we have association of genuine Vaishnavas who have love for God, in their association, bhakti will rise in our heart. By our own effort, it is not possible. अपने आप के प्रयत्न से परतो स्वतो वा, either by the counseling of others or by our own effort, we cannot attain the level that can be attained by kripa, by mercy. So it is utmost important, very important. Wherever we find very advanced Vaishnavas, we should run to them and hear Hari Katha from them. The best service we can do to a great soul is hearing their instructions, their mood, and imbibing that in our life. People are eager to grab the dust of the lotus feet of great Vaishnavas. They want the dust. But what is the greatest dust? Dust. So we can scrape the dust from the feet of a Vaishnava and put it on our head. That's wonderful. Bhakta pada duliyar bhakta pada jal, bhakta bhukta abhashesh mahabol. Certainly, by drinking the charnamrit from a feet of a Vaishnava, by smearing our body with the dust of the feet of a Vaishnava, and accepting some prasad, remnants from the plate of a Vaishnava, one will become a devotee, no doubt about it. But all of them have inner moods, inner understanding. What does that mean? Dust of the feet of a Vaishnava means walking the path that they have walked. Walking the path that they have walked. Imagine if somebody is simply taking dust from the feet of a Vaishnava but is not following their instruction, then that is not proper dust. When do we get dust from a feet of a Vaishnava? When we walk behind them. If a pure Vaishnava is walking and we walk behind them, then you are stepping on places where they have stepped. So that's how we get dust. So by walking in their footsteps, which means following their instruction, we can get bhakti. Dust from their feet, actually from the feet, yeah, no problem, we can accept. But beyond that, it is more important to walk behind them, which means walking according to their instruction. Then what does their Charanamrit mean? Charanamrit means to accept the moods that they have in their heart. To have the moods in their heart. Because Vaishnavas, they are very rasik. Their hearts are full of bhakti rasa. Muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. Pure Vaishnavas, they have so much love for Krishna. There is so much rasa in their heart. They are hearing about Krishna, they are speaking about Krishna, they are singing about Krishna, they are chanting about Krishna, and their whole body, for general people, the body is 70% water. For Rasik Vaishnavas, 100% rasa. They are filled with mango juice. Srimad Bhagavatam in and out. So Bhakta Pada Jal means to drink that Amrit that they have in their heart through their Harikatha. To drink that nectar in our life. And Bhakta Bhukta Avashesh, which means to take a remnant of what they're chewing. What are they chewing? Well, everybody wants remnant from the plate of a Vaishnava, but the prasadam plate is only there for 10 minutes. Vaishnava is eating in 5-10 minutes, that's all. So he may chew some roti or sabji for 5-10 minutes in the mouth. But what is the thing that he chews 24 hours in his mouth? Naam, Harinam. So if we can accept Naam from a pure Vaishnava, that is accepting their remnants. Because prasadam, they may eat some roti or sabji for 5-10 minutes and it's gone. It's no longer on their tongue. But Harinam is always on their tongue, continuously. Nirantara Krishnanam Jahar Badane Sei Vaishnava Sreshta Bhajatahara Charane. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, somebody who's continuously chanting Krishna's name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Accepting that name, taking diksha from such a Vaishnava and doing bhajan, chanting, performing bhakti, that is actual Bhakta Bhukta Avashesh. So Prahlad Maharaj accepted the instructions of Narada Muni and all good fortune. Swayameva Spuratyada. What Narad Muni was tasting in his heart, Prahlad Maharaj is tasting in his heart. So Bluetooth or wireless technology is not a new one. It's there right in Bhagavatam. Heart to heart, wireless communication. What Narad Muni is tasting in his heart, he's giving it to his disciple Prahlad Maharaj. Srila Sanatan Goswami has given this example in Hari Bhakti Vilas that when iron is tossed into fire, it becomes hot, and in no time you take that and you touch something else, the other thing starts to burn. By touching iron to fire, iron becomes like fire. So a disciple, a student may be like iron, but by being constantly in touch with fiery guru, in no time those moods will come in the heart. So Prahlad Maharaj received everything in his life by the blessings of Narada Muni. Evam janamni patitam prabhavahi kupe. This verse will come ahead. When Narasimhadev asked Prahlad Maharaj, ask for what you want and I will give you. Prahlad Maharaj said, Soham katham nu visruje tava bhritya sevam. Please give me the association of Narad Muni lifetime after lifetime, by whose Hari Katha, while I was in the womb, I had fortune to hear. And oh Narasimha, now I am seeing you by the blessings of Narada. So, Soham katham nu visruje tava bhritya sevam. What can I ask for in this whole world? And how can I forget the debt, the gratitude that I have at the feet of Sri Narada Muni? So it is very important to have loving attachment to great souls. Mahat sevam dwaram ahur vimuktes tamudwaram yoshitam zangi sangam. As much as attachment to sexual activity opens up the doors of hell. Trividham narakasyedam dwaram nashanmatmanah kama krodha tatha lobha tasmadetattriyam tejet. To the extent one is gratifying one's sensual, lusty, sexual desires, to that extent, surely one will dip to the lower species. Adho gachanti tamasa. One will go to Andhatamishra, one will go to hell. But to that extent, when one is attached to pure Vaishnavas who are singing about Krishna, speaking about Krishna, hearing about Krishna, reading about Krishna, serving Krishna, living and dying for Krishna, we are attached to them who are attached to Krishna, Bhaktai Bhakta Janapriyaha. We become very dear to Krishna. We become very, very dear, and what those pure Vaishnavas are tasting in their life will come into our life. Just like as soon as water touches Yamuna, water becomes Yamuna. You take some tap water and throw it into the Yamuna, what happens? Tap water identity is gone, becomes Yamuna. Similarly, pure Vaishnavas are like Yamuna. They are carrying Krishna Leela in them. And we are like tap water. We are like gutter water. We are like industrial pollution. And when we touch pure Vaishnavas, which means the current of Yamuna Bhakti in their life, we come in contact with them. Then Yamuna, it's not that the industrial pollution now makes Yamuna dirty and now nobody comes to Yamuna. People will still move the dirt on the surface and still do Achman. Drishtai swabhava janitaiva pushascha doshai. They will move the upper contamination and still drink. Why? Because Yamuna remains Yamuna. So similarly, we are like dirty water. We somehow, if Yamuna like pure Vaishnavas come in our life, we become part of their mood. They don't become contaminated by us. We become purified by them. So here it is described, because of his association with pure devotees, Prahlad Maharaj he became very strong in the path of bhakti. Now, text 43. Tasmin maha bhagavate mahabhage mahatmani hiranyakashipu rajan akarod agham atmaje. Now, after describing Prahlad Maharaj's ecstatic moods, where he never forgot Krishna, he always felt the embrace of Krishna, he was chanting the names of Krishna, he would drip tears, drench tears in separation, dance and sing and loudly call out to Krishna. Such a great soul has been described by Narad Muni, Mahabhagavate. Great Vaishnava. Prahlad is a great Vaishnava. And Mahabhage, most fortunate. This is text 43. Mahatmani. Look how many times Maha word has been used by Narad Muni. Tasmin Maha Bhagavate Mahabhage Mahatmani. To such a great Vaishnava who was so extremely fortunate. Narad Muni is not saying how Prahlad became fortunate. Narada was the one who got in that good fortune. But he's not saying. He's just saying, oh, this boy was extremely fortunate. You see, throughout this description, Narad Muni doesn't say, yeah, it was my mercy. I kind of blessed him. I prayed for him. That's how, although he was a son of a Rakshasa, he could have become another Hiranyakashipu. मेरी कृपा से देखो कैसे पत्थर भी शालिग्राम हो जाते हैं ऐसे नहीं कहे हो. He didn't say, look, by my mercy, how a demon has become a pure devotee. He's not even talking about himself. You don't hear it. Narad Muni is so humble and so detached. He's not saying anything about himself. He's just saying, Mahabhagavate. Prahlad was a great devotee. Mahabhage, extremely fortunate. And Mahatmani, who in his heart had Krishna. Had Krishna in his heart. Actually, in the Bhagavatam, there is another interesting comparison that you find. When water bodies are described, Shukdev Goswami will typically say, this water body was like the mind of a great soul. He will always compare. You can see Itham Sharat Swachcha Jalam Padmakara Sugandhina. There, when he talks about the water, and then in chapter 15, canto 10, he will also say the water bodies in Vrindavan, Padmakara, Kamalakara, they were water bodies, they represented the minds of pure souls. Why? Because just like the pond has pure water, the heart of a pure Vaishnava has pure rasa, pure bhakti rasa. Just like the pond is transparent, you can see inside. The heart of a pure devotee is transparent. He doesn't hide and keep secrets. Just like the pond has pure water, doesn't have any mud. Similarly, the heart of a pure Vaishnava has no material desires, no stink of material desires. Just like the pond has cold water, similarly, the heart of a Vaishnava doesn't have hot water. It's not angry. It's cold, relaxed, rejuvenating, relaxing water. Always prashantatma. Sudurlabha prashantatma kotishvapi mahamune. Similarly, the pond has lotus flowers. The heart of a pure devotee has करचरण सरोजे कांतिमन नेत्र मीरे श्रममुषि भुज वीची व्याकुले गाध मार्गे हरि सहरसि विहाय पीय तेजो जलौघम मरु भव मरु परिखिन्नः क्लेशम अध्यत्यजामि. The lotus hands, the lotus feet, the lotus eyes, the lotus face, the lotus navel, the lotus garland of Krishna, or the lotus flowers in the pond of the heart of a pure soul. So Prahlad was like that. Mahatmani, like a water pond in Vrindavan. And Hiranyakashipu Rajan, still the king Hiranyakashipu, Akarod Agham Atmaje. Anupras Alankar has been used here. You can see Akar has been used 3 times. Akarod Agham Atmaje. Towards his own son, Prahlad, Agham Akarot. Hiranyakashipu inflicted so much suffering. So naturally, Yudishthira Maharaj is starting to think, when Prahlad is so great, you have described his ecstasy, you have described his good qualities. Why did his father trouble his own son like this? What was the enmity about? Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, this is to text 43, one who oppresses a pure devotee loses all the results of his austerities, penances, and pious activities. Since Hiranyakashipu was now inclined to chastise his most exalted devotee son, Prahlad Maharaj, his opulences began dwindling. The best thing we can do, if we want to destroy everything good in our life, is find a nice Vaishnava and criticize him. This is the best thing to do. If we don't want to live long, if we don't want bhakti, if we don't want taste in the holy name, if we don't want another human form, if we want to go to hell, if we want to suffer more, lose even material prosperity, wonderful, all in one. Best thing to do, find a nice, sincere devotee and criticize. Please don't take me seriously, okay? This is sarcasm. This means we should not, absolutely no. Abhivadana shilasya nityam vruddhopasevinah chatvari tasya vardhante ayuhu vidya yashobalam. On the other hand, instead of criticizing Vaishnavas, if we serve them, if we bow down to them, if we take shelter of their instructions, Chatvari tasya vardhante. Four things will increase in life. Ayuhu, life. Vidya, spiritual wisdom. Yasha, fame. Balam, spiritual strength. One will become more scripturally knowledgeable. One will have more taste in bhakti. One will have a longer life. And one will become so famous that Krishna will also get to know about us. One will become yashasvi. Ekanta dhama yashasa shriyam aishwaryasya. One will become completely spiritually power potent by serving Vaishnavas. So Hiranyakashipu, here Vinashakale Viparita Buddhi, his mind is thinking completely opposite. He's seeing a pure Vaishnava and deciding to trouble. So text 44. Sri Yudhishthir Uvacha Devarshi etat ichhamo veditum tava suvrata yad atmajaya shuddhaya pitadat sadhave yagam. Maharaj Yudhishthir said, O best of the saints among the demigods, Devarshe, O best of spiritual leaders, Suvrata, how did Hiranyakashipu give so much trouble to Prahlad Maharaj, the pure and exalted saint, Shuddhaya? Although Prahlad was his own son, Atmajaya, I wish to know about this subject from you. Etad Veditum Ichhama. I really want to know that Hiranyakashipu was very austere. He knew he performed so much tapasya and he's a great king. And his son is so qualified. Why did he trouble his own son? Why is this done? A father and mother are always affectionate to their children. When the children are disobedient, the parents chastise them, not due to enmity, but only for the child's instruction and welfare. How did Hiranyakashipu, the father of Prahlad Maharaj, chastise such a noble son? This is what I am eager to know. Maharaj Yudhishthir further inquired, how was it possible for a father to be so violent towards an exalted son who was obedient, well behaved, and respectful? All good qualities of Prahlad have been counted. O Brahmana, O Master, I have never heard of such a contradiction as an affectionate father punishing his noble son with the intention of killing him. Kindly dissipate our doubts in this regard. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In the history of human society, an affectionate father is rarely found to chastise a noble and devoted son. Therefore, Maharaj Yudhishthir wanted Narad Muni to dissipate his doubt. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 7th canto, 4th chapter, Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Hiranyakashipu Terrorizes the Universe. So Yudhishthir Maharaj really wanted to know from Narada Muni, why this contradiction? Hiranyakashipu is a great king. He may have wicked tendencies, but great king, he himself performed austerity. And Prahlad Maharaj is obedient. He's following everything so nicely. He is very austere. He has ecstatic symptoms. He's very noble, lovable, and loving. Then why did Hiranyakashipu try to kill? It is described, Akarot Agham Atmaje. He tried to kill his own son, tried to trouble his own son. His only intention, Hiranyakashipu's only intention in life was, I don't want Prahlad alive. I want to kill him. So this question Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking. So the answer we will see on Tuesday. We will continue to study Srimad Bhagavatam with the start of the 5th chapter. Of course, we won't take questions today. Today is Thursday. Questions will be taken on Tuesday. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Sham Sundar ki jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Ananta Koti Gaur Bhakta Brinda ki jai, Bolo Jai Jai Shri Radhe Sham Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bo. Thank you.